Chris, you gonna just rob us now before we start the pod? So
I got something to do later, so I'm getting in character for it. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, for Diddy? Like, is that baby in the background?
Yeah, we're just gonna start this shit live.
The only time I caught the Holy Ghost was when I was in church drinking.
Like, they're two dumb dudes. Welcome to the latest episode of Sarat and Chris's Movie Therapy Podcast.
I should have gone upstairs and grabbed my my Jackson chain. They sent me one to try out, and I never used a chain.
I mean, you could use it to either wear as a chain or lock your front door. I mean, looking at how thick that thing is, your neck, not the chain.
Yeah, well, the chain only comes down to here. I like
That's
it.
a necklace. That ain't a chain. Gotta watch the Boondocks.
Yeah, I do, but it's like it threw me off for a second there.
Oh man!
But yeah, like I don't know. Part of
Hold
me,
on, hold on. Chris, you gonna just rob us now before we start the pod? So
I got something to do later, so I'm getting in character for it. You know what I'm saying?
wait, for Diddy? Like, is that baby in the background? He's like, yeah.
I'm trying to match my picture over here, Kenpachi. You know what I'm saying?
hell no. That's,
I know Kenpachi had an alternative lifestyle. But okay.
he look like one of them bad guys from Batman Forever.
No, it's bike week, baby. Come on now, Memorial Day weekend.
Did you go down? Did you go down like? Do you go down like Pensacola or something?
Oh, I went down. All right.
It looked like he did go down with that outfit.
I know.
Deep sea fishing is her favorite position.
I mean, he just said it's bye week, bro.
That ain't face paint on the mask. That's yeast.
Jesus.
Oh, that's a whole lot of it. Goddamn. Shit.
Oh shit.
Oh man. Take this shit off so I can breathe.
He went to hell and came back looking like a dude from Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, the Hood Edition.
For real.
Yeah, the real Black Ops.
Yeah, shit. We thought he got it from.
Damn.
Well, with that being said, welcome to the latest episode of Sarat and Chris's Movie Therapy Podcast. It's your boy Sarat, aka Makazi.
It's your boy Marcos, aka at the Sunset Kid.
And your boy Chris Brown, aka Red Ford Delta. Solid.
Hey man, listen.
What?
He can say that with all that chest hair sticking out. He allowed to say that shit.
I'm like Black Panther, Black Rat, whatever you want to call it. I don't know.
He's trying to be Tyson Beckford. That's what he's trying to be.
Undercover brother.
It looked like he's scheduled an R&B video shoot after this podcast.
Hey man, hey Jodeci.
He look like you Jodeci.
I'm about to say, where's my Jodeci boots at? Oh no, they ain't back here.
First of all, you got Jodeci boots.
Everybody got Jodeci boots. Come on now, we call them roach killers in the hood.
Mm-hmm. I got a pair. What, man?
Here's our rice stoppers.
Jesus.
Yeah, you usually gotta. That's how you make wild rice. You gotta stomp it down. This movie this week is a little wild. Not wild. This movie kind of takes place in. I thought it was taking place in Chicago, but it takes place in Philly. Very
Which is crazy. It doesn't look like Philly the entire.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out which city it was for a while. But Chris,
like this shit look like a sound stage.
Chris, you picked this movie. Why don't you let the people know what movie we watched this week?
I did. Me and the wife was actually just scanning for a movie to watch, and came across The Golden Voice on Prime, I believe. I wouldn't say it's a tearjerker, but it will pull the heartstrings a little bit.
Who selected it? Was it you or was it the wife?
The wife. Come on now.
Come on. I don't know.
I'm either watching porn or cartoons. One of the two.
Jesus. So then you're telling us you never watched any of the movies that we've been reviewing?
Only because I have to.
Yeah, he just has it on picture in picture. He's like, let me focus on this first.
And then sometimes he gets confused. He's like, wait, did I just finish on a Naruto cartoon or was that porn? I don't even know anymore. Everything just blends in.
Look, those cities, that's all I remember. But not.
So Chris, all right, since you picked the movie, like, first off, did you like the movie? Like, what were you expecting when you saw it? Because I saw the title, I was like, this looks cheap as shit.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. It
for the Tyler Perry production credits somewhere.
What caught my I guess what sold me on the movie, I ain't gonna say was so. Yeah, I guess what sold me want to watch it was the opening scene because as you all see in the movie, when he's in the park about to hang himself, that's when I actually text you guys to see if he hasn't seen it.
When
Because
like,
at that moment, it was
not right. That knot isn't right.
No, it was the whole breakdown for me because when Nick Nolte's character walks up as the bum, like even though it's a movie now, let's be real here, but what are the odds of him catching somebody about to hang himself when his job in the military used to be watching people hang themselves? You know what I'm saying?
I didn't catch that part. Was that his job in the military?
Yeah,
I thought calling him general. So
I thought it was like the crimes that he kept.
Yeah, like he did some things in the military that he wasn't proud of.
Okay,
and he was responsible for basically the people tying the knots and the people going out to either be shot or hang themselves. And it was on his duty.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, what were the odds of him about to catch this boy about to do this to himself, knowing that he's lived that life of watching people do that to himself?
Yeah.
So that part right there, that's when I paused the movie and text you guys, and then I watched it. So that right there was like, okay, this is going to be an interesting fold out for me.
Yeah.
So,
when I first saw that scene, I was like, okay, this is an interesting way to start a movie out because depending on how you feel about one suicide, about the idea of someone getting hung, all that stuff, like you might see that opening scene and it might cause you to just turn the movie off because you don't want to go any forward. But like because they started the movie with that, I was curious to see if they could keep kind of not necessarily that tone, but like if the movie could match that type of significance in its messaging. And I think it did. I really like this movie. How about you, Marcos?
I enjoyed it. So I don't know if you guys remember.
I mean, it's not Wolf Warrior like you picked.
I mean, not everything is that. Is he Chinese? No. The whole first of all, do not do that. Hey, I hope you clip this. Clip this as the.
I'm not gonna waste this shit like Wolf Warrior. Nah, this I'm on the budget over here.
I'll take a shot.
I ain't got.
You don't need to, Marcos. You ain't got no tequila or Modelo.
He wants that Dominican juice.
Hold on. I'm gonna grab a shot. But yeah, Marcos, tell the people what you thought of this movie.
Yeah, what you think of the movie?
Right. So this movie kind of like confused me because I don't know if you guys remember. I thought this was based on the news story of the homeless guy.
Okay.
That had an amazing voice. Do you guys remember that or no?
You talking about the homeless dude that had like the news anchor voice or whatever?
Yeah, the guy that was a singer.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know that. I know there
was it a news anchor voice or was he a singer?
See, I remember a clip from a guy that had like a real deep voice. He was homeless, and they tried to give him a job.
What the hell is that?
What
the? I fucking almost knocked over all my shit.
Whoa.
It's a dog toy. It's a dog toy.
God,
sure it is.
It's a dog toy.
Why would you put your habits on camera, man?
Listen, I gotta play with my dog. I'm actually a good parent, Chris.
His dog, that's what he calls his butthole.
I play with my dog too, but not like that.
Yeah, get out of here, Chris. This is called good parenting. Good parenting.
So what's this?
Don't do that, man. Stop.
Based
on mad because it ain't even fast.
And you're wearing a Jim Carrey shirt. Me, myself, and Irene. Come on,
no, this is from
Ace Ventura. I know, but still, that scene in Me, Myself, and Irene, where you had the toy talking about why is my ass hurt. It was your idea. Marcus is like, I hate these two.
I literally almost tripped over and knocked over all my shit because I accidentally stepped on.
We would have kept recording. We would have just kept talking like nothing happened, and you would have been like, "Oh, what just happened?" Concussed himself. Like, he'd be all right, guys. It's all a bit.
Yeah.
What I was telling Chris is that I got confused because this movie, I thought it was loosely based on that homeless guy with the news anchor voice. Like, wasn't that or was I completely wrong?
I don't know. I feel like they have those kind of things every so often where you get those people that, somebody on social media was filming some homeless person. That homeless person turns out to have like some kind of like far off talent, some shit like that.
And first of all, I just want to say they were both homeless, Chris. So you were like the bum. One of them was freshly unhoused. The other one has been like they were both homeless, and now I was just like, so these.
No, I mean, do you consider him homeless or do you consider him a runaway? That's different. He got a home. He just didn't go to it.
Okay, they both had homes, but
Yeah.
one home was more furnished than the other.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I enjoyed it for what it was. I felt like it got real cliche. Once they got their trauma out the way, it was like, all right, his voice. And then I don't know, I guess the song choice, the Lumineers, hey, what is it, hey ho or ho hey or whatever.
Hey, no, that ain't.
That's OPP.
I was just like, okay, they wanted to keep this like, I thought that the movie would have done better service if they would have. Then I guess it would have been more spiritual because his dad was a preacher. If he would have done like something that he would have sang at his church.
I don't know about that. I think that would have been a little too on the nose.
See, for me, I thought the movie
Sinners
was
did it and
beautifully-
it worked so well for them.
But Sinners had a whole different budget.
And it was
Yeah.
very spiritual.
And actually, the guy from Sinners sings way better than this guy. Like,
Hey, come on. This dude got a good voice.
he does.
Look, see,
But
okay, I will not disagree with you on that. But I thought the movie
it's
was
not
beautifully
vampire
written.
inviting good. So
No, because I mean, if you look at the broader picture of it all,
Hey,
you gotta do-
Chris, with your R&B background, what was his voice like?
his voice was like, "Tell me what you want."
Jesus Christ.
So I was the Drew Hill.
Yo,
Oh
I know.
man,
Have you guys seen that
My
video?
whole life has changed.
There's a meme going around right now where the parent is trying to teach his son to listen, so he messes up, so he makes him do a 100 Drew Hills.
Are you serious?
What
He
he's
just
like,
slide in the jump. Dad, I'm getting tired.
have you speaking of that, have you guys seen the video that they do? Remember how they're like, oh, what are those? There's a new one. There's like son got on the da da da, and he starts singing the seal.
I haven't seen that yet. No.
No.
He got the slippery earls. That shit makes me die every single time. But
But I'll say I thought the movie was beautifully written, on a small budget, of course. But the story itself, I thought was really, really good.
I also thought that Nick Nolte just came on set dressed how he was.
Oh, listen. I thought, and this is just my honest opinion. I thought if it wasn't for Nick Nolte, this would have been a student film that like barely got noticed because a lot of that acting was like
All him.
it was just it was very amateurish. Like I'm not saying anything bad. It's sometimes just hard being natural.
The lead was his first movie. The lead.
I'm not even talking about him. I think he didn't do too bad. I'm talking about that best friend Dominic, who was clearly just trying too hard.
Yeah.
To be the friend, the girl, the girl that was the journalist. I don't know. It just felt like for a lot of them, it felt like they were just very amateur actors. And then when they're around Nick Nolte, you could see like Nick Nolte came across like really like natural and like.
I mean, and Nick Nolte, he does this role well, this tortured guy. Because if you guys remember, what was it?
What Warrior?
The Warrior. Like that, I was just like, yo. Like I always thought Nick Nolte was like a drama / action guy, from 48 Hours and another 48 Hours and a bunch of other movies he's been in. But in Warrior, I was like, holy shit! Like this, I believe this man. Like there's a couple scenes in that movie when he's talking to him and like he's talking about how he gave his life to Jesus, and then our boy was like, man, shut up! Like I don't believe you. He was like, that's what you say to get your bottle or whatever, something crazy. Like Nick Nolte is a good actor, and I think a lot of these guys, when they're getting older, they get into the real acting bag, as like I like to say, like they get these roles that are as different than what they've done, and they dive deeper. So
I feel like they do that not necessarily because that's like the only kind of roles are being offered. Like again, once you get to a certain age, you're gonna be playing the wise man or the guy with the wisdom. But for someone who like Nick Nolte, I hate to say it, but the man looks like his age.
Yeah.
But
every single year, every single day.
Yeah, but that sells his wealth of knowledge. Like you can't look at somebody with smooth skin talking about how hard of a life they had, right?
True.
So like you get someone who's got the wrinkles, who's got that. It looks like that real weathered look, and then they start spouting knowledge and like little gems. You kind of just sit down and be like, yeah, Professor, yeah, I get it, Professor X. Let's go.
What if they found Nick Nolte and said, "Look, we got a movie for you. We'll give you a free haircut if you come film it." He said, "Okay, cool."
But to defy knowledge, to defy to
I don't know. I don't know. I think I might prefer him with the raggedy look.
Yeah, I think
that's what I'm saying. He probably looked raggedy, and as if you do this movie for us, you get a free haircut.
and then it is true. A lot of our aging actors do transition to this role, with the big exception, which is Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson wasn't an action guy; he was an actual thespian. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, they were like, he did Taken, and then now that's like his second half of his career, which is being this action guy. That is like, oh, like to the point that probably my nephews don't remember him in like what was the Christmas movie that he was in as well. Like he did a bunch of like drama films that he like well acted. And they're like, oh, you talking about the action guy, Liam Neeson? It's like, no, if you go on his resume, he hasn't, like, it was like after Taken, he's done action movies. He didn't do it before. Which
did y'all connect with this story? Chris, I feel like Chris, I feel like when you watch this, like, obviously with the drinking and stuff like that, but like, I feel like there was part of the story was like, hey man, I feel like I'm looking in the mirror.
Now, I will say this: the part of the movie that
they ain't cooking any ramen on the dashboard though. So
hey, that's between me and you. You shut the fuck up about that, okay?
That's impressive to me.
Exactly, those are hidden secrets.
Yeah, okay? It's like Hey Dad Soup in Goofy movie.
That was different. Oh man,
I hate this man.
But now one part that really stuck out to me was when he's going through the history of him and his wife, and no, I think it's when he's talking to the kid itself, and the kid's going about his problems about his dad died, and his mom. They started to date the deacon or date the bishop, whatever, and he's like, he says, you should be happy that she found love again, because it's hard to find love once it's been taken from you.
Yeah,
have you? And no, I'm not saying that throughout his life, he found his love, his wife, and everything else, and they were both taken the same day.
Yeah,
and then that's how he became a bum, so to speak. Some people never bounce back from that type of trauma. They crumble and just try to hold on to their crumbleness the best way they can.
Yeah,
and I understand that.
Tapping into your own experience, have you had to be the voice of reason to somebody younger that's going through some trauma that you're like, hey, I've been there?
Definitely.
Yeah, because I mean, sometimes I feel like
a stranger or like somebody, because I know it's different when it's a loved one or somebody that you deal with. That you're like, hey, young blood. Like, it's funny because I've had more of those moments.
Like that because he's black.
No, I've said it to like people. Like, I find myself giving unsolicited advice to younger people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even when they don't see they're going down the wrong path, I just quietly just be like, hey man, like, like that's cool, but remember, like everything in life, there's got to be some limits.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean. Like,
I don't know. I feel like for me, it's less about like random people in my life and more wrestlers and just people that I came across just traveling and shit like that. Is like, you talk to someone who's still got the sparkle in their eye. I'm like, hey, don't lose that. Mm-hmm. Because at some point it gets hard. You can rise fast now, you can get there quick, but at some point things are going to get hard, and you just got to remember that like that's part of the journey. Not every incline is going to be a steep climb to the top. Sometimes it's going to be very like barely there. You're not going to feel like you're progressing in any way. So
like it's funny you mentioned that. I was just talking to Eric from at Nerds Closing. He said, what's up, by the way, Sarat. And I told him something that stood with me, that I realized, you ever say something that you realize shit, like in the moment that you come to your own conclusion, it's like, I said that
a lot of times on this podcast, actually.
Yeah. I sit there and like, I realize that I give advice based on my one-sided experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I realize that I try to shy away from giving relationship advice because I am a person that's learning every day about relationships. You know what I mean? I realized that my mindset, when I got divorced from my first wife, that my thinking there is completely different to how I think now. That if I was in the same headspace that I am now as a 43-year-old man, I would have been able to not even get to that point. I might have not even been married because I would have saw the clear obstacles in the relationship and where it's just life. Like, there's sometimes two people don't belong together. And I would have, so I can't, like, I say all this because you guys always had that friend that'll give you advice that they won't even know they're in the wrong. That they'll be like, "Oh, my ex is a blank. This, f her. You shouldn't be with girls." And it's like no, bro, but you're not holding yourself accountable. You so you didn't come in like this. You did something to make that happen. Like in a way.
Curious. I'm very curious what Chris is thinking about what you're saying right now.
I'm listening right now.
No, but I'm saying, I mean, like, what do you think about like the scenario that Marcos just put forth?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I'm a firm believer of holding yourself accountable. One thing I've always said is when you point a finger at somebody, remember you got 3 pointing right back at you.
Yeah.
So figure out what those 3 are, and if you ain't got no 3, then you point them all. Like, nah, this is all fucking you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the key thing is, and I know I'm a big sticker for this, and if something goes wrong in my life, the first thing I do is what did I do first? Because if I can figure out what I did, and then I figure out that I did nothing, okay, yeah, I'm up to your ass now.
But as men and as human beings, and I was having this conversation like earlier last week with a couple friends of mine, is that we tend to see ourselves as the hero in every story.
Yeah.
Whether we're victimizing somebody else in the situation.
Well, because you can only see stuff from your point of view. That's why I always say, for a lot of people, the worst thing that happened in their life is the worst thing that happened in their life. And for us looking at it from the outside, looking in, like you can't judge a person for feeling like it's the worst thing that's ever happened to them, even though you might have went through worse shit. Because from their perspective, from their experience, that is the worst thing that happened in their life. And I think one of the issues that we fall into as adults, and not just as people in general, is like feeling like, oh, if I like you said, if I had my mindset that I have now, if I had that back then, I wouldn't have made those choices. But you forget, those choices that you made are what led you to have that mindset now. So you can't look back at them and feel like, they didn't play a part. Those are the things that shaped who you are. And if you love who you are right now, you can't help but just appreciate the experiences you've gone through, whether they were good or not.
Yeah, it's like it's crazy. Like I had this conversation with my cousin. Like, his parents been broken up and like divorced years ago, but like he found out like recently that his mom remarried, and he was upset about it because everybody knew, even I knew, and then he's
you ain't tell him that's your boy. You ain't telling his mom remarried. You gotta find out on the streets.
That's my cousin. No, she eventually. It was like his dad told him in passing, and then he was like, "What you mean?" And then it was like the dad.
Your mama got a new thing in her life.
And then like his dad in realization was like, "Holy shit!" Like I just realized he didn't know, and it was like, and I told him, and my cousin is like how I used to argue when I was younger. He'll get louder. Instead of him trying to like argue your point, his arguing was like, I'm just gonna keep saying the same thing louder.
Yeah.
And then when he calmed down, I was like, yo, cuz, like, she did this for a reason. There was a reason you weren't told, because this wasn't gonna be the reaction. And she was like, oh, my dad never did anything like that. I was like, your dad, from his own admission, was the reason that they got divorced. And it's like, and he's like, no, but this. And I was like, yo, you're angry at the moment now. Like, your feelings are valid. But you can't, like, what did you want her to do? Like, I remember when I was younger, my mom and dad divorced. I literally was like, any male that came near my mom was old, by the way, anyway. But any guy that was like trying to be cool with my mom, I'd be like, yo, who the hell is this? But then as an older person, I was like, fuck, like, I might have messed things up for my mom. Like, I wish she would have had a partner as she was going through those few days that before she passed, because like that's a lonely existence, you know what I mean? Like, and that was a lot of regret. Even though I was a child when this was happening, I was like, man, did I mess that up? Like, you know what I mean? Like, like
well, I mean, as a child, you tend to sometimes.
Did you walk in there with a bag of Doritos? Like, don't touch my mama. Don't touch my Doritos.
No, it's like,
hey, the shop's closed, bro. No open sign.
No,
here.
but I vividly remember, and like my sister, we talked about it. She was like, yeah, No, not like that. Because Cartman's mom was a weirdo, but she still is.
Was she a
it's
bitch? Cartman's mom is a big fat bitch. Bitch, whatever.
no, but like I vividly remember that like there was like a neighbor in the house, and I was like, "Who's this random ass motherfucker here?" And like I got into an argument with my mom, and that motherfucker never set foot in the house. Whether it was a thing, and then I vividly remember me and my sister were talking about because there was a point where I had my own place, and my mom had her own place in New York, and I came over and there was a random dude who was like, "Oh, hey, my name is so." I was like, "I don't give a fuck about you." And then my mom asked me like, "Oh, what do you think about so?" I was like, "Fuck him." And then
you know what? You needed a Ving Rhames. He had the baby. He should have baby boyed your ass.
no, he would have not been. Back then, I was riding dirty. It's funny. I was gonna send y'all. I was gonna send y'all a picture of my last state versus Marcos letter. I found. Like I was like.
So getting back to the movie, so like we were just talking about, the idea that whatever happens to a person, like you can't judge because what might seem rudimentary and simple to us might be the worst thing to happen to someone. So with with KJ in the movie, the reason he ran away from home was because again his mom met another guy and didn't support his musical interests.
He got
you think he was overreacting?
I think it was a teenaging.
Yeah,
which has been my thing, and it's like if we talked about this a couple of times in horror movies and action movies, I fucking hate kids that do fucked up things, but then kids are kids. Like you remember in what was it, the Extraction 2? Like I would literally, if I was a side character in that movie, like one of the guys that helped him extract, I would have just walked up and shot the kid like in the foot or something. Like now you're gonna remember this decision for you fucking calling your uncle. It's like they have so many emotions and then they choose the most illogical thing. Like in horror movies, like they do stupid shit, and it's always like when a teenager is the person making the decision that fucks things up, that I'm never on their side. I guess because I'm so far away from being a teenager. Like in my mind, like it was like the old man Marcos. I was like, get your stupid ass back home.
I got to give it to the mom though, because I actually liked her acting. It's like she wasn't trying to overact. It's like she played her role. She was like the preacher, whatever.
We might have to agree to disagree on that, but go on.
No, because as a black mama, she ain't whoop his ass.
You a black mama?
No. Oh. You know,
I know you were black mama.
I knew that vessel spilled out a little more than normal.
I fucked myself up with that one. But coming from a black mama, she whoop his ass. You know what I'm saying?
That's another thing. That's an American thing. That's like if my ass would have ran away.
I think Africans be beating the shit out of them.
No. I'm saying him running away. If my ass would have ran away, my mom would have pulled up on me, drove to me, and just hit me across the face with a belt and be like, "Get your stupid ass in the car."
Yeah. Okay, but that's one of the things about the movie. Like there's that scene where Nick Nolte goes up to her and then talks to her in the church, and like I don't know, I didn't get and maybe it's just an acting thing. I didn't get the feeling that she was that fucking worried about her son who's been missing for weeks.
And also, why is she gonna let a homeless guy that probably stinks just randomly walk up to her in church?
He took showers. Come on, you seen him. He was like, "Tell your friend
I ain't gonna let you in my church because you stink." Then, come on, bro. This is church.
No, but hold on.
This ain't the mall.
Also, didn't. And first of all, he can't be homeless in the same city. He was camping. Like if he was homeless and she was from Atlanta and they took a road trip back to Atlanta to get him home, I understand. But my man was a bus ride away from home. So about like I'm homeless.
I mean, because he lost his home after he lost his wife.
But
you know what I'm saying?
Going back to the whole thing, like, and this is what, like, I wanted to rewatch it a little bit more. Didn't Nick Nolte like offer KJ a drink from his bottle? Did KJ take it or no? Or that wasn't even a thing?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember that part either.
Okay, I remember them sitting there talking. They were sitting there talking when he played that song for him, and he kind of like, got him to toss his bottle away.
Mm-hmm.
Because I started watching it with Lily, and then at that point, like I walked out of the room, and I was like, oh, did he? It's like I don't know. I didn't look, and I was like,
did you have a moment? You had to walk out.
I know.
It's okay if you did. We're talking.
Yep. I had to center myself. I had to go.
Podcast comes second. We're talking.
He was like, man, he told him pull that sandwich out the trash can. He's like, God damn, I want a sandwich right now.
First of all, I can't be homeless or unhoused. I understand that, but there's certain things.
Just say homeless.
I guess
I don't like this changing of vernacular. We don't need to say unhoused. They're homeless.
Okay,
it's fine.
So,
there's no stigma around it.
I lived out of my car for a while.
I don't have the survival instinct to like eat out of a trash or like not even like take it further. Like you ever seen Naked and Afraid when they're like cutting up fish and then just throw it? Like I don't even have those survival instincts. I'll be like, let's see how long I cannot eat. Like you know,
because Marcos would be like, I love to eat this fish, but we ain't got no sazon or nothing. God damn,
bro. Like have you seen? There was one where
where's the rice?
They ate like a squirrel, and I was like, dog, what?
It might be delicious. Squirrel might be. I haven't had it, but I'll try some squirrel.
I know people that have had squirrel. I haven't had it, but
yeah,
I will try it.
Hell yeah, floss that tail.
But going back to it, like, yeah, you're right, Makazi. The fact that she was like, oh, okay. She wasn't like my son. No flyers up, no nothing.
You haven't even put out a fucking missing child report?
Because she's a grown ass
motherfucker. He wasn't no child.
Listen. I don't care if she's a black mom. She's also a pastor.
Hold on,
that means she does stuff like properly.
Fuck that. I'm gonna cut you off. You got a Cambodian mama, I got a black mama, and Mark's got a Dominican mama. Which one of these give a fuck about their kids they leave? Tell me. I'll wait.
My mom told me if I come back, she whooped my ass. So
exactly. My mom said, "Get the fuck out. Open the door for me." Okay.
The only reason my mom like was okay with me coming back is because while I was gone, I got a job.
So you came up with gifts for everybody.
So listen, let me tell you.
The blackest shit I ever heard. I got a job. I'm
gonna bribe my way back into the house.
I got to pay electric now.
Let me explain to you the levels of Dominican momhood. Dominican moms are very different than a lot of Hispanic moms. Dominican moms will do shit that you just be like, yo, why did you do that? Like, so when I went up to New York to celebrate my homeboy's graduation, shout out to my boy Juan. We always bonded about our Dominican moms because they would do shit like, I don't trust him. And then, like, yo, my mom literally followed me and a group of friends when I was like 17, acting like I couldn't see that she was walking a block behind me. Like,
where were you going?
We're going to the movies. And I introduced her to everybody and everything. And she was like, because Dominican moms assume the worst. They were like, oh, they're going to go do crack or they're going to go do like something. And it's like, bro, you couldn't believe me? She's like, you're not, like, you know, that's
I wouldn't trust you too.
But so you was in a whole different city. You was in New York. That's different.
But it's like these are kids that you knew I grew up with, but it was like,
I didn't trust. I'm pretty sure she didn't trust them while y'all was growing up. She just doing it because she was being a good mom and trusting you. But then at that point, she was like, "Nah, man, he can come back with high cholesterol."
I can tell you, this guy. I can tell you, the day that my mom stopped, like doing crazy shit like that was I said, "Yo, my mom is back there." So we slowed down and waited. And I was like, "You should just walk with us." And then we kept like talking to her, and then you could tell she was getting pissed and embarrassed. And I was like, "Do you want us to get you a ticket?" And she's like, "That was my mom's thing when she was and then she just left home, and she never did that again. Like, you know, but every now and then there'll be a hater mom that like their kid will be the one doing the fucked up shit. Like I remember my homeboy. I'm not going to say his name. He used to sell drugs on the corner. But then his mom will always tell my mom that me and my friends who just were into hanging out with girls and going to parties will be like, oh, they're on the corner. I saw him selling drugs. And I'm like, that's your son. Like, we don't hang out with your son. Your son falls asleep on the corner because he's slinging that dope. Like, yo, relax. But my mom used to always be like, oh, and then she'll get overprotective. And I'm like, yo, I'm like 22. What are you talking about? Like, it's her son who went to jail for this. It's the one that's doing it. Like, not me.
Hey, what did y'all when they revealed in the movie that Nick Nolte's wife or Barry's wife died with their pretty much newborn son, like 2 days after he was born. When that reveal happened, like, did y'all connect with that? Did y'all have like any emotional responses? Because me, when I heard that, I was like, oh shit. Like you kind of just got like a sense of like, oh, like I can see why this man just like turned to the bottle.
Give up on life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's why I said that part where he says you should be happy that she found love, because it's hard to find love, keyword, when it's taken from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't leave you, it was taken. There's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've been to the bottom of some places, you know what I'm saying? I've lost a whole lot of shit. And I've had a whole lot of shit taken from me. You know what I mean? But yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know how it would feel to lose a newborn child. And even the backstory of his wife, about she had a French accent, met her outside a coffee shop. He had just got back from the military or whatever.
Yeah.
Had a conversation. And then she said some cold ass shit. When he went to France to go live with her, and she said, no, wherever you came from, the place that built you is where I want to be.
Yeah.
Shit. Hey, that's a pimp game for
I know. That's
a pimp game to the top.
If someone says something like that to you, you're like, God damn, you mine.
You
my goat. You my goat.
I want to be at the place that built you. Get the man, shit. Come on now.
So I like the trauma got to me, but I like, when it comes to like stuff like that, I like to put myself in the character's shoes. In this situation, like, I couldn't really relate to the newborn, but like, if I lost my wife, she's my best friend. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that would be crazy, like, to me. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm saying I can't like relate because I don't have children. But like,
you got a dog?
Yeah,
everybody give me shit, but no, having a dog is just as close, if not harder, than having a child. Sorry, he can't listen to me, or he can't understand me. We just using sign language.
You gave him that dildo right there. He's happy.
It's a different kind of play you do with Ryu there. Ryu's like,
listen, if he was here right now,
he said, "Oh, no,
like, yeah, that's mine."
Oh, no, they go to heaven this movie.
If Ryu was there, he'll call me an explicative, and then he'll call Chris the N-word.
Stop talking about my toy like that.
but because he's barking, we'll be like, oh. But he's like just anti-Semitic.
We find out Ryu's alias is Fleece Johnson.
I know when that reveal happened, like, again, like, it just I don't know. Like, I'm eternally optimistic. I feel like I can always find the positive in anything. Maybe because I've been through some shit. I don't know.
Like,
but I feel like in that moment in the movie, like, if there ever was a reason to just downward spiral, I feel like that would be it. Like, I feel, for me, losing something like that, yeah, like, give me that bottle and just leave me alone.
So, like, this is where I felt like it was by the numbers, because I expected, a reveal of some sort that explains why he's in this situation. Like, they got to keep making his character likable. If, like, the reveal was that he just discovered crack,
yeah, but I mean,
you would have been like,
they would have had Tyrone Biggums in there.
Yeah, but I mean, but he was, when he came in dropping gems in the first scene, you could tell, like, okay, he's not just a guy who just was like down on his luck.
But see, even with the first scene, it's like I said, what are the odds of meeting somebody? He was like, I know how to tie this knot. You did it wrong.
Yeah. Well, so
if you're gonna kill yourself, do it right.
No, but sometimes that's the way the universe works. Sometimes someone walks into your life at that exact moment where you're like, I needed to hear that. I've gone to church. I don't go to church often, but probably because I'll burn up if I walk in. But when I do, sometimes I hear something and I'm just like, I don't know what I was expecting to hear today, but that's exactly what I needed to hear. And that's just how the universe works sometimes. Sometimes the universe puts someone in your life in that moment to tell you that thing that you needed to either pull you up out of a situation or at least put something in your brain that can cause you to then move forward. The question is, are you going to take that advice?
Or something need that confirmation. I told you a couple weeks back when I just had to go take a day for myself. And I ran into the home.
Day?
Well, I took a weekend, but the dude I ran into, he says some words that I needed to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the simple words of, "Hey, God got his hands on you."
Has there been a piece of advice that was said to you at some point in your life where you were like, God damn, that's what I needed to hear in that moment?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've come across those. I want to say at least 4 times in my life.
Give us one. Give us one that you can that the listeners can take with them.
The pork chops are done.
Chris don't care. They done there, man. That was Chris will risk some salmonella.
That's every Tuesday. The pork chops are done. She. Black people don't say no. We say she. Oh man. But no, I've been many places and done many things, and I can remember coming into different scenarios, meeting different random people, random bars, because sometimes it leads to doing whole shit, but sometimes just a real good conversation. But I remember one of the times I was actually going through a court case, and I want to say, Sarah, I think I told you this, where I was in trouble for something I didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not being black. I actually didn't do the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I actually showed up to court that morning, and for some strange reason, the only people in there was me and this lady in front of me. And I actually want to say I got a text from you that morning, Sarat, talking about sorry about your loss, because I had lost my Aunt Bonnie.
Yep.
That I didn't know about. So I get to court, and I'm there early because I want to go to court, get this over, and then go to work. And there's a lady in front of me. And she said, "What did you do to be here?" And I was like, "I didn't do anything. I was lied on." And she was like, "Same words. God got his hands on you. You're okay. You just got to learn something right now." And I was like, "Okay." And I asked her, I said, "What's your name?" And she said, "My name's Benita, but everybody calls me Aunt Bonnie." And that night, I got a text, or that morning, I got a text from Sarat because my Aunt Bonnie had died. Yeah. So that's one of those situations where it's like, come on now. How ironic is this?
Yeah.
That I'm going to meet a lady who's called Aunt Bonnie, telling me something I need to hear about the situation I'm in, just telling you got to learn something right now, but you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
And it changed your whole mindset, your whole thing about, okay, cool. Let me just get through this because this isn't where I die. If that makes sense. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It makes perfect sense.
For me, it was again. This is like a wrestling lesson, but then I kind of translated it to life. I was talking to this dude, his mofo, Steve Bradley, great wrestler out of New Hampshire. And I was doing a show for him back when I was like maybe 21, 22. We were just having a conversation. And he was just like, yeah, he was like, what's the point of having a technical masterpiece if the crowd is sitting on their hands? Like, they're not having fun. Like, your job is to go out there and entertain these people and make sure they have fun. So you could do everything in the world. You could do all this amazing stuff. But if the crowd is sitting on their hands, you didn't do your job. And I took that and I was just like, man, if you equate that to life, it's like you might want to accomplish and do all these crazy things in life. But if that's not what's right for you in that moment, then you're doing the wrong thing. You can go chase all the money. You can go chase all the fame, whatever. But like, if that's not what you and your family needs at that moment, you're doing the wrong shit. Look at Will Smith. I read when I was reading his book, he talks about how he was very militaristic. I don't know how to pronounce
materialistic.
No, not materialistic.
Military.
Militant. He's very militant.
Yeah, okay. Very militant. You got that right.
In a sense that he was like, we do our job, we get going, we're gonna be successful. And it's like, in that moment, like, his family's falling apart. He's like, I got #1 hits, I got all this, we're making all this money, but my family's falling apart. And it's like, yeah, because you're chasing this thing that you think is right in life, when in actuality, your situation and things you need aren't asking for that. And so, like, I try to apply that to my life now, where it's like, I look at my situation and things going on in my life. I'm like, is the goal that you're trying to chase the goal that your life needs right now? Maybe it's not. Maybe there's something else that's going on that you need to pay attention to.
Sometimes it's not what we want, it's what we actually need at the moment in time.
Yeah. What about you, Marcos? You ever had a situation where your wants weren't exactly what you needed, besides glizzies?
I mean, it happens all the time. Like I'm impulsive when it comes to like purchasing certain things. Mm-hmm. but I'm a lot
somehow
better.
we knew that, because if you don't purchase it, you'll 3D print it. So
Yeah, and it's like I sometimes I sit there and be like, I don't need it, and then sometimes the universe or automatically gratify you with an explanation like, oh, like somebody else got it and it was horrible, or I suffer FOMO sometimes with a lot of things.
FOMO? Hold on, wait, what's that?
A fear of missing out.
Okay, gotcha.
fear of making omelets.
Yep, that
like
too.
some scrambled.
So, and it's like one of those situations you're like, oh man, all right, whatever. Like I'm good. And sometimes I'm just like, whatever.
And my FOPO? Fear of pork chop?
No,
observation?
You have fear of pussy overdose.
How did I know you were gonna say that?
Because it's Chris.
I'm sorry, Marcos, because we both had our moments to get it out.
I get it. I 100% get it.
But like, so how does FOMO? Do you ever had a moment in your life where that FOMO just like, not necessarily like you look out and you're like, okay, I'm glad I didn't partake in that because I didn't need it. But you ever had that moment where you're like, that fear of missing out is causing you to do things or chase things that are just wrong for you?
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody
I'm asking you specifically, a specific moment.
A specific moment. Pursuing somebody that I shouldn't have pursued. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? There's been a girl that it's like, people are like, man, like she's not the one, dog. And I'm like, nah, let me go out with her. And then it's like, oh shit, maybe I should have listened.
I've had that same thing. My first girlfriend was like that. Everybody was telling me, hey man, she ain't good for you. She's running around doing all this stuff. And like in that instance, I was like, I hear you, but I have to learn that lesson myself the way I need to learn it. Otherwise it's not going to stick.
That's what I was going to ask. What did you learn?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I learned that like, hey, like you got to be able to recognize when something's bad for you, so you know your limit. Because if you don't know your limit, you're just gonna let motherfuckers just run over you and take advantage of you. So you gotta be at some point in your life, you gotta be pushed to your limit where you have to stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
All right. So this movie, one of the big things about this movie was music.
Oh yeah, definitely. I love the music in the movie,
except for the last song. I didn't like that last song that he sung in the park.
Okay.
You talking about the one after the reporter did the story on him?
Yeah, the one where he's at the park. The one where he's at the park and they put the microphone in front of him. I thought it was
the bootleg Michael B. Jordan. Tell me y'all didn't see that.
No, it felt like a lot of the songs leading up to that moment were kind of sentimental, a little softer, a little more heartfelt. That one, maybe the words are heartfelt, but I think the way he sung it. It felt like a fucking bop. And I was like, I don't know if I want to hear this song in this moment.
Like I said, the choice of music in this movie, it wasn't something that I would have done.
Yeah, that's because it wasn't fucking Don Omar.
Nah, I liked it though, because
that's the one song you know. It's the one.
Come on, Daddy Yankee, Don Omar, Aventura. Come on. You don't know how much Aventura I got on my fucking, when I had an iPod. I had a lot of Aventura on there, bro. We seen John Dell. Come on, get out.
I listened. Aventura is my favorite group.
Yeah, from the Bronx.
And I grew up on them. Like I grew up on them. Like they're like my age, and like they're
you know I grew up on.
Okay, Blade, relax.
Look, every Puerto Rican beat get that same beat. Everyone.
I know, because they all sound the same coming out of a Honda Civic or a Honda Prelude.
All right, Blade, relax.
Look, don't hate. Come on now.
Extra large Blade is back.
Participate, player.
You know it's true. I love my Spanish people. I love all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Especially the food and the women. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like you use both of those in the same context, like especially the women and their food, and I like eating the women and the food at the same time.
You ever ate a Puerto Rican pork chop off a Puerto Rican belly?
Nah, because
some sazon with some rice and peas on the side.
No, they use went Mexican. You use went Jamaican right there.
What's rice and peas?
Yeah.
Rice and beans.
Yeah.
Shit. Who knows?
No, okay, so why? So
rice.
Marcos, why didn't you like the music choices in this movie?
I just like I said, like I guess it came out. Well, it came out before Sinners, but I think Sinners kind of like tailed it. Like I don't think like it should be more soulful. The guy has a religious background. They show the mom, the preacher, and everything. Like it doesn't have to be like a gospel song, but it could be something that's more like, you know what I mean? Like I don't think he was playing Lumineers for his dad when his dad was a preacher and alive.
Well, so here's the thing. I think that Lumineers song was actually a great fit for that moment in the movie. But I think, you know, obviously going with who he is, his background, the character, and the story that's being told, it should have, by the time it crescendoed into that moment, it should have been a more heartfelt and more, you know, I don't want to say gospel, but more uplifting kind of song. But song that he sung, it was, I don't know if it was the tempo or whatever. It just felt like, I don't know. It felt like a pop song.
Like it was more for movie purposes versus going with the storyline.
Yeah, it didn't have the emotional beat. Maybe the lyrics did, but the way he sung it didn't like really capture the emotion that I thought I should have felt in that moment. Because come on, his mom ain't seen him in months or weeks, and all of a sudden she shows up. First of all, she showed up just like stared at him.
Judge Dredd. She showed up like Judge Dredd for real. I'm surprised she said
she looked like the black girl from Loki.
But he like, mama. Hey,
but yeah, you know, you dude, listen, you have this falling out with your mom. It's this emotional connection, and all of a sudden she shows up to hear you sing, and that's the song you sing. I was just like, come on.
Yeah, okay, I can agree with you on that. I actually, but when it comes to the movie in general, the music rather, I like the fact that it had no color. Yeah. Like he put out Luther Vandross while also quoting Bob Dylan. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like it's music, and that's what I feel like the world is coming to.
Didn't it feel like how would Nick Nolte know these songs?
Because like he's a traveled man. It's in Philly. Music is big in Philly.
Some of the songs were a little bit new. Like you think Nick Nolte's character heard the Lumineers before?
No, he asked him what song that was.
He didn't know who to sung that. Every song he referenced was like, you know, older, you know, man with grays. You know, he wasn't quoting anyone of that,
but see, even he said in the movie, he said that he never missed a night to sing his wife to sleep. Yeah, he says sometimes the best medicine, what he says, is a great melody.
Yeah, sometimes a song is the best medicine, or something like that.
Yeah, and that's a real quote too. Like I'm sure you guys have been through it, whether it's heartbreak or anger or laughter, whatever. Like, okay, I'm gonna ask you this right now. When you're mad, what's the first song you want to listen
to? I punch people.
I said song. Not what you want to do. If y'all can't think of that, then
no, there's a song. I'll tell you right now. Not necessarily mad, because again, you know me, I don't really get mad. But you know, again, when I got divorced, there was this. I want to say it was Donovan Mitchell or
the basketball player.
No. Donovan. It's this chubby white Canadian dude that sings country music. I forget the name of the song, but it's I forget, but it played in my head every time. Like during that time in my life, because I was like, this just kind of encapsulates how I feel in the moment.
Okay, I mean, I listen to a lot of bachata. Bachata got a song for everything.
Okay, but what I'm saying, like when you know you're in a certain mode, whether you're happy, you're sad, whatever. I can name all my songs. When I'm mad, first song is Eminem, The Way I Am. Okay. You know, just because I sit back with this pack and zigzag. You know, like I gotta get that frustration out of my system. When I'm happy, I go to Chubb Rock, Treat 'Em Right. You know what I'm saying? I want that upbeat, like, you know, like I can name a song for my mood. Yes. Do you know who Chubb Rock is?
Yes, I know who Chubb Rock is. Why do you? First of all, you too young to be dancing to Chubb Rock, bro.
Because I'm chubby and I rock, baby.
I don't know, man. I'm even scared to find out. Every time you move, I feel like you're not wearing pants, bro. Or you're wearing some assless chaps with no underwear. It's like, bro.
See, bro, the song, when I'm in love, I gotta give a Prince. You know what I'm saying?
The song that really like just hit me at that point in my life was the song "Grew Apart" by Logan Myers and Donovan Woods.
Okay.
If you get a chance, listen to that. It's literally just like in that moment, in that time of my life, I heard that and I was just like, yeah, like this is just how I feel right now.
But see, and that's what I'm saying. I think there's a song for every mood. Like that's a real quote in the movie for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like the best medicine sometimes is a song or a melody.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that Marcos can't name one is kind of upset me right now. Come on now,
That's
Daddy
because
Yankee.
Sir Mix-a-Lot didn't drop.
You don't want to hear Fat Man Scoop, Crook the Clan, Timberland. Come on now.
Fuck both of you, first of all.
Actually, no. Fight Music by D12 is a good, like, if I'm feeling like angry or something like that. But again, I don't really feel. I don't know.
Like even when it comes to
Maybe that's just me. I rarely feel angry.
okay, but not,
Chris. I don't have that fucking Hulk on my arm.
no, but don't worry about that. Okay, we'll talk about that later. But I'm saying like music for your emotions. You know what I'm saying? Like when I want to get motivated or I feel like I need some energy to get up, remember the name Fort Minor.
Yeah,
it's gonna instantly get me there. You know what I'm saying?
Dream Shatterer, Big Pun.
Okay.
That's for me.
Okay. Come on, Marcos, chime in.
What was it?
Daddy Yankee.
Nah. Anything by Big Pun, honestly. And I know. Go ahead. Say your comment. Insert your comment.
No, I'm just saying.
No,
I love Big Pun
honestly,
was my first. Big Pun was my first entrance music. So I have a love for Big Pun.
No, even though I'm talking shit right now, I'm actually learning because if I know what song you're listening to at this moment, then if I'm ever around you and you play this song, I know you're feeling something.
All right, Marcos, is there a song that you can think of that, like, if someone were to ask you, hey, like, tell me a song that can tell me a lot about you, what would you tell them? For me, it's Leave Out All the Rest, Linkin Park.
Okay.
A lot about me.
Yeah, like this. If you want to get to know me, listen to this song.
I got my song off the back, and you would probably never guess it.
All right, come back to me because that's a good question. I gotta think about this one.
Really? Mine's just Creed, One Last Breath.
Hell nah. Chris is, and you say she's just a friend. And you say, oh baby, the Mario version. Because you like nostrils.
No. Whole is whole. Look at Marco's face. No, mine's just on Creed, One Last Breath, man.
Why? What is it? What does that song do for you? When that song comes on, what does that do for you?
It just reminds me where I came from. Reminds me where I was when I first heard it. The chorus alone, hold me now, because I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking maybe 6 feet ain't so far down. Yeah, I've been there quite a few times. And
I know it's a bachata song, but there's so many. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna say this. I will tell you the next time we meet because this is a good question, and I don't want to shortchange myself. You guys had these because you had.
Me and Chris have these conversations on a daily basis. Like these are the kind of conversations we have. Chris will be driving on the truck. Lot lizards be damned.
And I'm like, hold me now, because I'm teethless from the edge of my teeth.
No, like when for me, Leave Out All the Rest, like the chorus, when my time comes, forget the wrong that I've done, help me leave behind some, memories, that's just, I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like, at some point, basically when I go, did I leave a mark? And then it doesn't, and when I was younger, I used to think I wanted to do something grand and something like, that's well known and well received by everyone around. But as I get older, I'm like, no, like, your kids. Like, did I raise them, or am I gonna have kids that like I can leave a mark that inspires them to be better than I was? Because if that's the case, then my job's done.
Okay, well, speaking of kids, Mark, you said come back to you because I ain't trying to shortchange you at all with your answer. I feel like in the movie, Nick Nolte got a son, or his character Barry got a son, and Cage got a dad, unexpectedly.
Yep.
How about y'all?
Go ahead, Marcos.
I believe so. I think it's crazy because I think that's how it is in life. Everybody at some point, if you lost your dad early, you somehow, some way, you always get a surrogate dad.
Yeah.
Whether it's through a stepdad or whether it's through an older friend, whether it's an older cousin, there's somebody that you always look to, at least in my experience, that will be there. For me, I didn't lose my dad early, but like my mom and my dad were divorced early, and for the day to day, like my brother-in-law came into my life so early, and our age gap was at that point that I see him as an older brother, and he gave me that advice. You know what I mean? Like, although my dad did give me the advice and everything, like I was like, all right, like he kind of doubled down on what was already told to me by my brother-in-law. And then to think about it, when they met, he was in his 20s himself. Like, you know what I mean? Like he didn't live life a lot more than me. Like, but it was like he got there just enough to be like, hey, watch out for this part. And he was young enough to understand the shit that I went through. Like, you know, I hate to be that guy, but like he understood all the hood shit. He understood the fist fights. He understood, like, you know, chilling with some chicks or whatever. Like, you know, it wasn't like, you know, back in my day, it was like, I understand this, but realize that this is how that's probably gonna play out, and you shouldn't stress over this.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I played ball with him and everything. Like, you know, it was it was cool. Like I'm very grateful for him. And then so I always feel like and I guess this happens a lot more. And again, if anybody's listening, I can only speak from my perspective. I realize that the guy friends that I have or family members, like they bond quickly with older males, or like older males like always be like, you know, take somebody under their wing with like you know, I'm not saying like, oh, you know, people getting abused, and like I'm saying like for a legit thing, because like I guess that's just how men are, I guess, like, you know what I mean, like I have, like, when I get older, there's like one of the guys in our friend circle, I'm older than him, he's like in his late 20s, and he'll reach out to me and like ask for advice, and I'll be like, you know, I'll give him, you know, I'm not gonna be like, well, you know, I just say, hey, this is what happened with me. If that might be a situation, like, is that right or wrong, guys? Because I feel like that is a natural bond, like, you know what I mean. And then if you notice, there's a lot of plot points in movies, like, you know, that's the reason, like, you said Michael B. Jordan, the Creed movies, like, you know, if there were if that was Creed's, like if Creed was a dad, and let's say that was the mom, the mom would have been like, I don't give a shit if you're Creed's daughter. Like, I'm not gonna, you know, but it was like, it was Rocky and Creed's kid. It was like they had a bond, and initially it was like, this is the reason why they're in each other's life, but that bond created organically. You know what I mean?
One of the themes with this movie, and it's pretty much a theme in a lot of movies, is the old wise man.
Yeah.
I'm curious, at what point in your lives did you feel comfortable dishing out advice? Because there's some times where I'm like, you know, I feel like, okay, you know, you say you want to give some advice, but you don't feel like you're in a position to. Or you feel like, you know, maybe because you don't have the experience, you know, your advice might be looked at as just, you know, like, you know, surface level. So at what point did you feel like if somebody asked you for advice, or you saw something where you're like, you know, like maybe I can give a piece of knowledge or a gem towards this moment?
Like, it's funny because I've been doing this since like around the pandemic or prior to the pandemic. Like, I get drunk, right? Back when I used to go.
I think you did that before the pandemic.
No, but like it's funny
the
because
pandemic, he really got drunk.
Like she like points this out. She's like, I don't know what it is. Like, at a certain point in our relationship, when you get drunk and we're around like young people, you end up like surrounded by them and like telling tales. Like, all right. And it's like she said, we went to
church figure.
We went to Pittsburgh for my friend's wedding, like her friend too, but like, you know, he's my friend now, Donnie. And I remember we're like, all right, we all went to the rehearsal dinner or whatever, and then we're like, yo, let's go get blasted. So it was like a group of 10 of us. So me and the my wife's friend's older brother, he was hammered. I was catching up to him. We both go to the bathroom. We were in the bathroom for like 40 minutes, and Lily comes down. She was like, because, you know, it's like men's room, and she was like, yo, where the fuck are they? She comes down, and she said all she saw was like standing in front of the bathroom door. It was my homeboy Lee. He's like passing out, and like 6 white kids, and they're like asking me questions, and I'm you ever seen Grandma's Boy?
Yeah.
What, after what's it called? The character touched the boobs, and he was like taking questions from everybody. They're like, so they were like, so tell us about this and tell us about that. And like, she's like, yo, you're holding court and you're drunk as shit and like giving advice to kids. I've been doing that for a while, but like legit advice, like my nephews, when they ask, I preface it like,
no, I'm not. But I'm not asking when you give advice. I'm saying, when did you feel comfortable giving advice?
Honestly, if I'm being true with myself, never really. I think if you're too comfortable giving advice, you kind of are full of yourself sometimes.
Okay, I believe that. I can't say when I felt comfortable, but I will say this: when I see something that reminds me of me, and it's going down the path that I know I went down, let me stop you real quick, or let me try to show you something different. Okay. I can't stop you from what you're about to do, but I've been there.
Yeah.
And I guess you could say that's when I felt comfortable, because I'm seeing this young child about to do something. Like,
so for you, was it less about the age you were and more about the scenario that a person was in? Like, I'm more comfortable giving that advice in a scenario I recognize versus just being like, I'm old, listen to me.
Yeah, I think I think they both play a part, because I think when I first did it, it was more about the scenario and knowing something and watching it unfold in front of you. Like, I can't sit here and let this happen knowing that I know what happens next.
Yeah.
And then in doing that, it became comfortable to be able to speak up when you need to speak up.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It's like, I'm very fearful of the shut the fuck up, old ass motherfucker. Like, you, like,
why? I take that. If somebody comes at me like that, I'm just like, all right, I did my piece.
Look, somebody said that back, and that's why you better get fucked up, but not by me.
Because like, I remember this when I was like 24. Like, we used to go out Thursdays, like a group of us at work, and go out
college
to
night.
trivia.
It's college night.
No, we used to go out.
Yeah.
Well, we used to go to trivia, and it was college night at this bar. And like, I think we were celebrating something, and I was so hammered, right? I was this guy. I was so hammered, and the next day we were going out, right? So I go on my lunch break. First of all, I know you guys been there. Well, I don't know about Sarat, but like Chris, I know you love to partake like I did, and I kind of sort of do sometimes. Like, you know, when you wake up and you know you smell like fucking liquor from the night before.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to this Macy's and I'm buying a shirt, and I just go to this dude, you know the old slick black man that be working the same floor at Macy's. And I'm like, hey man, do you have this shirt in a 2X? Like, I kept seeing 3X, and I was smaller back then before Mikazi said something crazy.
Go on, don't assume.
But you were. It was in the. I can see.
I'm sure you were a decent sized, 11-year-old in a 2X.
Anyway, so the guy goes, all right, I grabbed that. He's like, I go grab that. He came back. He hands me the shirt, and I'm like, I bet. And he's like, hey brother, just wanted to let you know, man, you giving off a strong odor of alcohol. He was like, maybe, go home, take a shower, cold shower, let that out of your pores. And I looked at him like, motherfucker, like, and I literally said, I was like, thanks. If I ever need an advice from a guy that's working the sales floor at Macy's, this is an actual quote about how to drink, I will definitely come and find you. And then I was like, give me the shirt. Like, I just kept it moving. Like,
but was it sound advice?
I wasn't ready to hear it.
As an adult, looking back now, were you the shithead kid?
No, I was the guy.
Something tells me yes, you were.
Yes, yeah. Something tells me in that especially in that moment, yeah, you were the shithead kid who couldn't be told nothing.
Yeah.
Now looking back, you're like, yeah, you know what? That dude recognized something. Was like, he saw me going down a path that, like, hey man, you can't be out here at 12 o'clock at a Macy's.
He didn't tell you stop drinking. He just said drink better.
Yeah, I would have been like, hey man, like, if anything, first of all, that's wildly inappropriate as a sales associate for you to say that to a customer.
He's an old man. That's old sage advice.
I would have understood it more. And he was like, hey man, like, did you hang out? Like, I would have. But the fact that this man is like talking about my shower routine, and I was like,
see, you heard shower routine.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard you smell like alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. I heard
it was both. It was both. It was both. But my thing was like, I know I'm hungover like shit. You can see it in my face.
Yeah,
like you know, like what do you think I was?
So you know what?
Wait.
You was conflicted because you knew you was hungover, but you didn't want nobody else to know you was hungover.
Yeah, in that instance, it wasn't about the advice. It wasn't about the advice. That the dude recognized where you were in that situation. You were in that situation, so you were
like,
and first of all,
ego dog in my R2 voice.
All right, so before we end the pod, what's the best piece of advice you got from an old person?
Don't drop the soap. No.
I'm sure Chris heard that.
No, the best piece of advice is do not make permanent decision on temporary feelings.
Okay.
I've heard that.
Okay. Y'all is going to be a lot more heartfelt than mine. You know my best piece of advice I ever got by an old person?
Rice.
What's up?
Don't burn the rice.
Speaking of,
shit,
that line right there.
Yeah.
You measure the rice always up to that line, and it's always going to be good. That's the best piece of advice I ever got from an old person.
Oh man, from an old person,
Jesus Christ!
Because all the old people I know are Cambodian. They didn't really know much about American life.
So if your dad was there, I feel like, and he was listening to this, he just reach over and slap you like, motherfucker, I gave you better advice than that. Fucking rice.
I can't say it's from an old person. It was from my drill sergeant, and I've always held on to it. It was whatever you choose to do, you better do it 100%. If you're gonna rob a bank, take everything. Don't just go in it for half. Okay. So whatever you choose to do it 100%.
That's very military minded, but I get the actual point behind it. You know what I mean?
Like whatever, if you're gonna commit to it, don't halfway commit. If you're gonna get married, you don't
AKA no half stepping.
You know what I'm saying?
If you're gonna do something, even if it's a bad thing, do it
all the way. Yeah.
Trust me, we call that going Chris Brown.
Oh man.
Anyways, all right. Well, that's the latest episode of Surratt and Chris's Movie Therapy Podcast.
No, wait. Can I ask one more question? I know we running late. How do you feel about the way dude died? Because that's the only part of the movie that bothered me. The only part that bothered me.
Okay.
I feel like he didn't need to die for the story, but then I saw somebody said that it's based on a true story. Like, did the actual guy die, or did they put that there for more like, it's a dick punch for you?
All right, so with the way the end of the movie unfolded, in that moment, I was like, I kind of wish KJ was trying to go find him because he had a ticket in his hand. Right? Okay. Because he said, when I get this ticket, you're going to come. And so I wish that had happened then. But then all of a sudden they did when he sang at when it went to black, when he was about to sing at the audition. Then all of a sudden they had him singing during the credits. But then I had a whole after credit scene. And I'm like, just save the credits till after the after credit scene when he went to the fucking little memorial.
Yeah. My thing with the death scene is when he found the little carved piece of wood, he should have found that before.
Yeah.
And they should have made it known that was there. Yeah, I heard a ding too.
It's called a microwave, motherfucker. Y'all know what microwaves sound like.
Look,
when did you turn the microwave on?
This is a house. There's more people in this house than just me.
Look, Ross trying to hide his fatness right now. He got a meal on time. That's why he's trying to end it real quick. Like my meal will be done in 30 fucking seconds.
First of all,
that's the latest though. So, wait. Now stop and say, fuck, my rice will be burnt.
I thought you had a microwave like under your desk, like in front of you. Like,
listen, even if I had food strategically timed to go off,
he got an empanada, a pork chop, and rice in the microwave right now.
Listen,
he had it timed out.
Even if I had it timed out for the alarm to go off as soon as we finished, so the fuck what? Judge me.
And that's another episode.
You know what? That's what we ended. I'm good with that.
All right. All right, we'll end it right there. Catch y'all next week.
So the fuck what? I'm a warrior.